So I'm going to once again be talking about Shannen Doherty, Michelle Trachtenberg, and Clare Kramer, as well as the 2001 Pearl Harbor film and some interesting connections amongst its cast. Now, the Seattle Space Needle opened April 21st, 1962, and Shannen Doherty was born April 12th, 1971, in Memphis, Tennessee, of course. So the opening of the needle and Shannen's birth are sort of a mirror of each other. 4/21, 4/12. And from the opening to Shannen's birth, it's 3,278 days. 32 plus 78 is 110. Each of the Twin Towers had 110 floors each. We've also got our 11/22 JFK assassination date here. And it can also be a 2/2/2 order out of chaos, because 1 and 1 is 2. Also, 8 times 11 is your 88 portal number, or Trump number. And in the months and days, we have a backwards 227. That's the date the WOW signal was discovered, which connects to Comet Atlas. 227 plus 1 is 228, Elvis's death date. Remember, Shannen is from Memphis. And of course, as I stated in my past video, it is incredibly significant that Shannen Doherty died on the same date as Trump's ear clip, July 13th, 2024. And the number's 137, very high occultic number. The 33rd prime number is 137. And since she died on the date that Trump got his ear clip, let's go from her birth date to 8/4/2026. Our backwards 3/2/2 skull and bones. Also, 20 plus 203 is 223. So it's your backwards skull and bones number twice. We also have our 55 Satan number. 55 plus 3 plus 23 equals 81. The 81st day of the year is also 3/2/2 skull and bones. Noticing a pattern? And 663 plus 23 is 686. You're 86 forward and backwards. And they unfortunately 86'd Shannen Doherty, just like they might do Trump on 8/4. And don't forget the absolutely pertinent info that I started my last video off with, the last one about Shannen. From her final appearance on Charmed in 2001, the year the towers fell. Charmed being an Aaron Spelling production, just like Beverly Hills 90210. From it to 8/4 next year is 9/2/10 days. 9/02/10. Huge, huge, huge. And yes, it's missing the first O, but that doesn't matter because it's a 0. 9/02/10 made Shannen a household name. She died on the date of Trump's ear clip. Both shows were Aaron Spelling productions, so they're connected. She left both shows due to disputes with cast members. So, for it to be 9/2/10 days between her last air date on Charmed and 8/4 next year is a huge deal. Also, 25 plus 2 plus 18 is 45. Trump is the 47 president. And 302 plus 18 is 320. The 320th day of the year is the upside down 9/11, November 16th. Also, don't forget that Shannen played one of the Heathers in Heathers, the movie in which Christian Slater plays J.D. like Vance, the son of a building demolitionist, played by Kirk Scott, like Charlie Kirk, and that J.D.'s mother unalived herself by going into one of the buildings her husband was about to implode. Heathers came out March 31st, 1989, one day before the April Fool's Day prank about the Seattle Space Needle collapsing. And this was the prank here, broadcast April 1st, 1989. And again, this is info I showed in my previous video, but it's just a quick refresher before I get to the new information. From the release of Heathers to 9/11/2001, remember, building demolitionist is 47 days. Trump is the 47 president, or the 9/11 president. And it's no coincidence that the Space Needle prank was the very next day after Heather's release, because 46 days, but if you include the end date, it too is 47 days. That's how it works with days that are one after the other. So it was no coincidence. And Shannen connects to the Space Needle, the World Trade Center, to Elvis by being born in Memphis, and to Trump by dying on his ear clip date. And Shannen isn't the only one incredibly important to this puzzle. Michelle, obviously, if you've been watching my videos, so many things come back to her. And there's also incredible significance to Clare Kramer being cast as Glory, the one who wanted to sacrifice Michelle's character, Dawn, in Season 5 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now remember how both Shannen and Michelle's last names put together in a gematria calculator equals 216, our 8-4 date. Also an 88 and an 81. Again, ones and zeros are reset numbers. You don't have to use them, so it can just be an 88. But it can also be an 81 if you want to include the 1, and the 81st day of the year is 322. Well, now this really lets me know that I'm on the right track. Not that I doubted it by any means with all that I've found, but when we put together Clare, Shannen, and Michelle's first names, not only do we get our 881 again in the same cipher, but we get 1086 in Sumerian. The beast system equals 1086 in Sumerian as well. And in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Clare Kramer's character Glory is referred to as the Beast. Totally no possible way this is a coincidence. As a matter of fact, the Beast Glory equals 612 in Satanic. That's George Bush Sr.'s birth date, and you're backwards 21684. Also, down here in Fibonacci, you're backwards 614, Trump birthday. and our 5/8. Of course, Erica, Charlie wedding date. And if we use her full name that her minions call her, Glorificus, the beast Glorificus gives us our 522 as well as our 66 twin number. Now, why is the 522 important? That's something very big, and I'm about to get to it right now. The important Buffy episode about the tower sacrifice, where Glory is going to sacrifice Dawn atop the tower. It aired on May 22nd, 2001, 5/22, and it was episode number season 5, episode 22. So that's 2 5/22s. And 5 times 22 equals 110. Remember, there are 110 floors in each of the twin towers. And this is an absolutely huge, colossal deal, because that's why we have 2 5/22s with this tower sacrifice episode. 1 5/22 or 110 for each of the twin towers in the episode about the tower sacrifice. I mean, if that ain't proof, I don't know what is. And also, don't forget Donnie Darko, which came out on the backwards 9/11, January 19th. The movie begins on October 2nd, and the season 6 opener of Buffy aired on October 2nd. And that episode, the tower that they were going to sacrifice Dawn on, well, it falls down. And this was after the Twin Towers, although I'm sure they had to have filmed it before. So yes, I cannot overstate how huge this is. The fact that 5 times 22 equals 110. It perfectly fits why the air date of this episode was 5/22 and why it was season 5, episode 22. 110 for each of the towers. And by the way, the Pearl Harbor film premiered the very day before this episode aired, May 21st. And it was released 3 months, 22 days before 9/11. And as you can see here, May 21st, 2001, it premiered in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, aboard a nuclear aircraft carrier, before being released wide on May 25th, 2001, which is also important. Because May 25th, 1994, is when Shannen Doherty last appeared on Beverly Hills 90210 in the episode titled Mr. Walsh Goes to Washington. And Pearl released on Clare Kramer's birthday, September 3rd, in the year 2022. See how all of it is interwoven. A very, very elaborate matrix. And as awesome as I think she is, Clare Kramer was chosen to play Glory for a reason. Her full name, by the way, being Clare Elizabeth Kramer. C.K. like Charlie Kirk. And E.K. like Erica Kirk. born in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta having some very interesting area codes. You have your 44 kill number, your 77 World Trade Center Pentagon number, and of course your 47 Trump 45-47 president. Now in the same year, Claire's birthday is 84 days after 6/11. Also 2 months, 23 days, which is your backwards 322. In 2016 hours, for another 21684. Like I said, she was chosen to play Glory for a reason. And if you go from 9/11 to Claire's birthday in the same year, is 11 months, 23 days. 11/23 is 5 months, 12 days after 6/11. And saying this backwards, it can be 21/5. Remember, Pearl Harbor came out on 5/21. But more importantly, 165 days, and the 165th day of the year is 6/14, Trump's birthday. And if you go from Trump's birthday to 11/23, it's 162 days, so 6/11. So going from 6/11 to the date gives you 6/14. Going from 6/14 to the date gives you 6/11. And if you go from Trump's birth to Claire's in the same year, 81 days, 81st day of the year, 322, Skull and Bones. 2 months, 20 days. The 220th day of the year is 8/8. What have I been talking about on this channel a lot lately? Weapons, which released on 8/8. The Lionsgate portal date. 8/8 also equals Trump. And of course, Trachtenberg and Clare Kramer all about the Hell portal. And of course, the two 5/22s involving the Tower Sacrifice episode of Buffy. The sacrifice, of course, to open the Hell portal. 5 times 22 times 2 is 220. The amount of floors in each tower added together. And to cap this off and seal the deal with Clare Kramer's importance, from her birth back to Trump's in 1 year is 9 months, 11 days exactly. Or 40 weeks, 4 days, 44, the kill number. And you've got your 77 and your 81. Again, Clare Kramer, Michelle Trachtenberg, all about those towers. Just like Trump is the 45-47 president. Going back to the gematria, Clare Kramer gives us our 192. The 192nd day of the year is 7/11. 7 times 11 being 77, the World Trade Center Pentagon number. Also, we get our 666 number in Sumerian. The 192nd prime number is also 1163. So we have our 611 backwards in there, and 6 plus 3 is 9 for also our 911 backwards. Using Claire's full name, if the 192nd day of the year is 7/11, then the 193rd is 7/12, and that of course gives us our 12/7, or buildings 1, 2, and 7. And while I won't always mention it because it takes too much time, always remember that numbers like this can be both a 162 and a 216, because this 2 right here times 8 is 16, so 162, and this 2 right here times 8 can be 16, so 216. In one of our most important ciphers, reverse Sumerian, we have both our 162 and 216 numbers right there. Of course, the 28s are always important too. Now, the two key figures in Buffy Season 5, the two new characters who are incredibly important, are Glory and Dawn, played by Clare Kramer and Michelle Trachtenberg. So, putting both their full names into the calculator, wouldn't you know, we get our 522. And what have I been saying? The gift about the tower sacrifice of Trachtenberg's character by Kramer's. Season 5, Episode 22, airing on 5/22. We also have a 162 in Chaldean and a 216 with a 6/7 Elvis number. Not to mention our 25 forward and our 25 backwards. And unfortunately, Dawn, or Michelle Trachtenberg, was unfortunately sacrificed for real in the year 25. And if we drop the middle names and include Shannen Doherty, since all three are interconnected, we get our 220. Again, our Lionsgate portal date, 88, our Trump number. And if you add up the amount of floors in the two twin towers, it equals 220. Now add Kramer's last name to Trachtenberg and Doherty's, whereas their last names together equaled 216. Adding her name is 282. And like I just said, this can also be a 162, 216, both in one number. Also in Latin, 1284. And this upcoming December will be the 84th December since Pearl Harbor. And since Kramer and Trachtenberg are the two involved in the tower sacrifice, just their two last names together gives us our 88 portal number. Remember, Kramer was going to sacrifice Trachtenberg to open the portal. Also 110. Remember, 5 times 22 is 110. There were two 522s involved in the episode, one for each tower. And we also get our JFK assassination date, 11/22. Now, if we put together Clare and Shannen's full names, we once again get our 522, this time backwards. And our upside down 666. Plus a 4/5 for good measure. Now, in Season 5, Buffy is told that death is your gift. She has no idea what that means until the finale. And that's why the episode is titled The Gift. It is her gift to Dawn as she sacrifices herself to save her sister. Death is your gift gives us our 11/22 JFK assassination date yet again, our 79 current Trump age, and our backwards 217 weapons number, which was, of course, released on 8/8, the portal date. And just the title of the episode, The Gift, 33. I don't really think that's a surprise, as the death being her gift and her sacrificing herself is an obvious reference to Jesus' sacrifice being the gift to humanity for our sins. Also our 45 here. And 11 times 4 is 44, the kill number. 320th day of the year. 11/16, upside down 9/11. Now Shannen died in Malibu. One of Malibu's area codes being 424. Your 42 forwards and 42 backwards. I also found this interesting. If you add up these two zip codes, you get 180, 528. 18, or Flight 180, Final Destination, along with my birth date, which is also fictional character Donnie Darko's birth date. Now, if you add 90210 into that, 270, 738, and 270 plus 738 equals 10,008 for, again, your 18. From Memphis to Malibu. How very interesting that Malibu gives us our Space Needle opening date, 4/21, which again is also like a mirror of Shannen's birth date. And Malibu Mayor Marianne Riggins gives us our 162-611. Also our 12/7, buildings 127. You can drop the 1 if you want because it's a reset number. 8 plus 8, 16, 216. So 216 and 162 and 127. Take out Malibu, get our 10-9 Yale founding date, Skull and Bones, or 9-10 Charlie Kirk, and our 10-10. Remember, Erica ziplined past both 10-10 and 9-10. Just plain Marianne Riggins, our 86 number, but also our 247. Now, on a normal year, Clare Kramer's birth, 9/3, is the 246th day of the year, but on a leap year is the 247th. And it leaves 119 days remaining in the year. Now, since Shannen is from Memphis, going from Elvis's birth to her birth, 13,244 days. 13 plus 244 is 257. And go figure, the 257th prime is 1621. So you've got your 162-611. And if you add that 1 at the end, it's 163. The 163rd day of the year is 6/12, George Bush Sr.'s birthday, or you're backwards 216. And 36 plus 3 plus 5 is 44, the kill number. As is 435 plus 4 plus 5. And from Shannen's birthday to Elvis's in the same year, 271 days, your buildings 1, 2, and 7 numbers, and your 12/7 Pearl Harbor numbers. Now, speaking of Pearl Harbor, let's get back to the movie for a minute. Josh Hartnett is one of the 3 leads in the film, and look at his birthday. The same as John Lovitz from Southland Tales, July 21st, which is your backwards Pearl Harbor date, 12/7. Currently 47 years old, will turn 48 for your backwards 8/4 after 6/11 next year. Going from Hartnett's birth to the release, or the premiere, of Pearl Harbor, 41 days. 83 plus 41 is 124, which is your backwards 421 Seattle Space Needle opening date. Also, 8 plus 3 is 11. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 times 11, year 55, Satan number. 22 plus 10 plus 1 is your 33. And in the weeks, we have our 9/11 number in 4 days. And if we go from his birth to the Gift Buffy episode air date, which was the very next day after the Pearl Harbor premiere, 83 plus 42 is 125, which is your backward 521 Pearl Harbor premiere date. We also get a 10-2 Donnie Darko opening date, and 2 times 10 is 20, so this would be 222 Order Out of Chaos, as above, so below. Josh Hartnett was born exactly 6,300 days after the Seattle Space Needle opened. And the Seattle Space Needle is currently 63 years old. And it will be 63 years old when the 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor takes place. Now check this one out. From Hartnett's birth to the release of Pearl, starring Mia Goth, and which released on Clare Kramer's birthday in 2022, 529 months and 13 days. 529 is JFK's birthday, and 13 days later is 6/11. And just in case you don't believe me or don't feel like counting for yourself, here's your proof. 5/29/2025, add 13 days, 6/11. So yes, between this and the Amy Madigan, John Candy thing, I'm finding some very interesting connections between 6/11 and Pearl Harbor, among other things, like, JFK. Also, 16,115 days, aside from the very obvious 6/11 and upside down 9/11/01 numbers. 6 plus 1 is 7, and 5 plus 1 and 1 is 7. So this would also be a 77 World Trade Center Pentagon number. And of course, don't forget 5 times 11 is your 55 Satan number. So that's another pretty loaded line right there. And here we have your 44 kill number with your 3 times 11 for 33. I told you Pearl was an important film and that it 100% relates to Pearl Harbor. And that is why it released 1,191 days before the 84-year anniversary of Pearl Harbor on Clare Kramer's birthday, leaving 119 days in the year. But anyway, also 2,302 weeks in one day. Your 322 Skull and Bones number times 1 is still 322. And of course, if you want to include the end date, this is still absolutely loaded. 6/11 forwards, 6/11 backwards, upside down 9/11. 44 the kill number. 4 times 11 is another 44 the kill number. So twin kill numbers. And 14 days after JFK birthday is George Bush Sr.'s birthday, which is also the backwards 216. Now on the 84-year anniversary of Pearl Harbor, Josh Hartnett will be 47 years, 4 months, 16 days old. Your backwards 6/14 Trump birthday, with a 47 because he is the 45-47 president. And if you add all those numbers up, you get 67, your water Elvis number, which is also your backwards 7-6, George Bush Jr. birth date. Now, if we go from Hartnett's birthday to 8-4 next year, 48, 14 days, you got your backwards 8-4 here, and it is 2-8-4. 48 plus 14 is 62. The 62nd day of the year is March 3rd for your 33. We've also got our 7-6, backwards 6-7 here, and 6-14 Trump birthday. Also 5 plus 7 is 12, so this would be 1-2-6. And from Hartnett's birth to 6-11 next year, 47 years, 10 months, 21 days. You got your 47 number, of course. But check this out. 47 days after 10/21 is December 7th, Pearl Harbor date. And it's 47 with the 10/21. Also, 17 plus 492 is 509. 5 times 9 is 45. Trump is the 45-47 president. And lastly, 574 months, 21 days. Remember, the Space Needle opened on 4/21. And 5 plus 7 is 12. So this is 4/21 forwards, 4/21 backwards on 6/11. But anyway, this video is long enough. There's a lot more to this, so this is just a part 1, to be continued. All glory to God. If you find this interesting, come back for the next video. Thank you for watching. And also a quick reminder, the date that the Space Needle opened, April 21st, is the 111th day of the year, and 9/11 is the date leaving 111 days remaining in the year. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. Like I said, to be continued.